Hello, everybody. I am going to assume that at least one person might turn up relatively soon. But in the meantime, hello, I'm Mel, if you didn't know. Welcome to my channel. If you have not subscribed, please do. Today we will be discussing Blood in the Water by Tiffany D Jackson, which is a book that we read for my book club. And I am just going on to the Discord to remind everybody that we're live. So this is Emma joining me today. So thank you everyone, Emma, and please do go and subscribe to Emma's channel. I'm not actually certain. I'm not actually sure whether I put Emma's channel in the description. Let me just double check whether I did or not. I feel like reasonably certain that I would have done, but you never know.
All right, that's going back on. No one needs to see my hair like that.
You're fine.
Yeah, no one needs to see my hair like that.
Yes, I did put Emma's channel details in the description. So please go and subscribe to Emma as well. And yeah, get ready to chat all things Blood on the Water. But like I said, I'm just quickly putting on Discord that we're live. So let us know if you're here. And hello, Tracy. I knew Tracy would be here. I was waiting for Tracy. I thought if no one else comes, I know that at least Tracy will come. She is very faithful, and I appreciate it very, very much. How are you, Tracy? How is your day going so far? And Emma, how is your day going so far?
Yeah, pretty good. Although I will say, yesterday I was in the bookshop and they had like the special edition of Pride and Prejudice for $12 that I was tempted to get.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like this really pretty edition with like gold sprayed edges.
Oh, pretty.
And it was on special, so it was like $12.
But you didn't get it?
No, I had to make sure that I went to the bank first. I actually got the cash out that I needed before I spent it all.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
The problem is I have to walk past the bookstore to get to the bank, so I got distracted.
I understand. Yes, I do understand. Hello, Shannon. How are you? You are dependable, Tracy. Is that better than predictable? I think it is. You're dependable. We like that and appreciate it very much, particularly for something like this, because otherwise we could just be screaming into the void.
Oh, I do it all the time. It's fine.
Scream into the void. Yeah. I sometimes feel like that's what I'm doing as well.
Yeah, it's easier when you live alone. You can just scream and no one hears you.
Well, now that I have an 18-month-old, I do feel like I have the excuse to scream, and like people hear me, but like they just think that I'm like playing with the kid, you know. So I might just be like, they'll be like, you know, blah 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 blah, and I might go back, and everyone, and if anyone hears, which I doubt they would, because like that would be weird. But if they did, I assume that they would just assume I was talking to the baby. I am very glad to hear that your day is good. Early though, yes. Well, we still have not had much of a weekend thus far. And Shannon, good evening. Whereabouts in the world are you? Are you in the States? I sort of assume you must be, because I'm pretty sure that the UK is extremely late or possibly extremely early, depending on your view of things. And what are you up to? What have you been up to today? What are you up to this evening? I swear a lot around my house. Living alone is good for that.
Yeah.
Yes. I think my husband and I do try and curb the amount of swearing that we do these days compared to, you know, I mean, not that we're like massive, like we don't swear every 5 seconds, but I think we try and curb it a little bit, but we don't completely, because we're like, you know, we can just teach them that like this is okay words to have at home and not okay.
Yeah, and to be fair, sometimes it just comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember I was in the middle of a shopping center once, and I said it really loudly, and this old man just turned and stared at me.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you
just
can't help it.
Yeah. Sometimes it comes out.
Exactly, and that's okay. That's okay. Louisiana at 7 p.m. here. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm glad it's not too late. All right, so I feel like we should probably vaguely make a move towards the actual, book club discussion. So yes, the book club, in case anyone's watching this who hasn't read it or is just watching back, because it's on my channel, on the off chance, we read Blood in the Water by Tiffany D Jackson for my book club. So again, in case you don't know how that works, my book club is a quarterly book club, because aforementioned 18-month-old does make things like reading a book. Well, I can read more than one book a month usually, but sticking to making sure I read that one book a month, a little bit tricky. So I decided to do a quarterly book club because that can be a little bit more, consistent. So that's what we do. We do read a book every quarter. Obviously within that quarter, you read it at your own pace whenever you want to. And then we have a live show at the end of the quarter to talk about the book that we read. This quarter, the theme was BIPOC author, so Black, Indigenous, and person of color author, because it was Black History Month in February. And so I thought that would be a good theme. And the book that I chose for books and everyone voted, and the book that won was Blood in the Water by Tiffany D Jackson. So that is what we are going to be discussing today. And Tracy is going to be honest and does admit that she does not remember a lot of details and need to read close to the live show in future. Yeah. So I also need to read close. I normally read close to the live show. In fact, normally to the point where I'm like trying to finish it. I think, did I change the live show?
Yeah. I think.
I had it scheduled at a different time, and for whatever reason, I had to change it. I'm pretty sure. Or I didn't have a schedule, but I had it, we discussed doing it on a different day. And so I read it for that day, and then, also it was shorter than I was anticipating for some reason. So I also don't remember a lot of details.
It also doesn't help that 2 days ago I had my in real life book club.
Oh, yeah.
I had my real life book club this week as well, so...
Yeah, I've been doing. I'm a bit silly. Having said all that about the quarterly, makes it easier with the baby, blah blah blah. I then decided to join and co-host a bunch of other read-alongs. So at the beginning of this year, I was at the end of last year and beginning of this year, I was reading the final trilogy in the Realm of the Elderlings series with Bethany and another booktuber. And then, as you guys probably know, because you're part of the Discord, we're also doing the Poppy War read along, and then the Jane Austen and Friends read along.
Yeah, I have the Poppy War on my 12 for 12 friends, so I am picking it up at some point this year.
It's really good. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and it also works for the Pop Sugar Challenge because it has pop in the title.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because it says read a book with pop or sugar in the title. So I'm kind of stretching it and doing pop-y.
It still works, I think.
Well, it's in there somewhere.
Exactly. But yeah, so I don't remember a bunch of details either, but I do remember the vague basic premise, which is that, and I can't even remember her name, but the main character is sort of I guess, lower middle class, I guess you would say, Black girl in America, and her dad is currently in prison, but her dad was working. Was he an accountant? I think. For
it was something to do with finances. That's what I remember.
Yeah, it was
because he was charged for embezzling or something.
Yes, yeah. So I'm not sure exactly what he did, but he was working for the firm of this, I think it was the grandfather of this kind of family, and this young girl gets sent to stay with the family over the, well, I think over the summer holidays. And she's from like the working class family, and then, or like lower middle class, and then this family are quite well off. They own this property on, is it Cape Cod or Martha's Vineyard or somewhere like that. I don't really know the geography of the states.
Yeah, I'm not. Look, I barely know Australia's geography, and I live here.
Exactly. Oh, thank you, Kailani. Awesome. Thank you very much. So Kailani, and she goes to stay with these rich family in Cape Cod, and the town is that they stay in. It's very historical, kind of like New England historical. I think it's like up near Maine or somewhere like that. I don't really know, like we said, the geography of the states very well, but it's very place where a lot of rich families go on holiday and stuff. And then there's a group of, so they're, sorry about the light on my face. There is so there's a bunch of different teenagers who are part of these families that come and stay on the holiday, on the, whatever it is, on the island or the peninsula or whatever Cape Cod / Martha's Vineyard is. And by the way, most of my knowledge of either and both of these places comes from the Gilmore Girls. So yeah. And yes, anyway, I said I don't remember the details, and now apparently I'm just going to fire off all of the details.
Yeah, it's like with exams. You always forget the answers until you see the questions.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, like, wait, I do know this.
Let me just vomit all the things that I remember. Yeah, and so anyway, they go to this party. The first night that they're there, they're young. I think they're like 11 or 12 or a bit older, maybe 13.
Well, I mean, it wasn't middle grade, so they're about the age that middle grade characters usually are.
I get confused with where middle grade ends and where YA starts, and especially because I feel like YA, to me, a lot of YA, I feel like should be aimed at like 17, 18-year-olds, but then there are like 13, 14, 15-year-olds reading it, and I'm like, I don't know, like whether we should be like,
I have a similar thing with like new adult and adult. Like, what is the difference between those?
Yeah, well, I feel like that came about because there was stuff in young adult that was like essentially too like graphically sexual. I said that like a real English snob. Sexual. For like teenagers, thinking that if young adults are like, if the age range that are reading it are younger than the age range that are in it. So if like you think of ACOTAR, for example, well, maybe not ACOTAR, but Throne of Glass, for example, like I think the age range of the characters are like 16, 17, 18, but then you get 12, 13-year-olds reading it. And some of those books, Sarah J. Maas in particular, like, why is that being shelved? Anyway.
Yeah, look, I don't think it helps that they give smutty books cartoony looking covers, and so they think
no,
it's
exactly. And like, I'm all for smut, and like 16-year-olds reading smut, I have no problem with, but 13-year-olds reading smut, I'm a little bit less okay with.
I mean, it does look less sus when I'm reading it on a train, because it doesn't look like I'm reading smut.
Well, that's true. We like that.
Yeah.
I mean, having said that, I was sorry?
Yeah, no one questions you as much if the cover doesn't look like it's smut.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I mean, it's not just smut that it's not like I'm a big smut anti-smart prude. Tracy's like thinking, yes, you are, Mel. You're always anti-smart. I'm not anti-smart, but I do think that like a 13-year-old shouldn't be reading, Crescent City, without a lot of parental or something, not like guidance, like discussion and stuff. Like I'm not going to tell my child if they want to read. I don't know. It depends on the book, but I remember a kid in grade 6 reading Game of Thrones, and I was a bit like, I'm not.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, I don't know. Not so sure about that. Like, I mean, he was a pretty mature kid, and like, yeah, I could definitely see him like coping with it, but I still it's like, yeah, but I don't know that you should have to. Like, you're 12. Like, I'm not sure that coping with Game of Thrones is something that you should be able to do at 12. Like, I thought,
well, to be fair, I wasn't really monitored when I was a kid, and I ended up putting on Silence of the Lambs when I was like 13. It was not
yeah,
good.
right. Yeah, I remember
it was
watching.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, I remember watching Interview with a Vampire when I was like 13. And I convinced my aunt, because it was like, YA. It was like MA, so it was 15 plus, and I convinced my aunt to take me because I was 13 or something like that, and she was traumatized, and I loved it. But anyway, yes, that is okay, Tracy. You were allowed. Not much of a YA reader, but I enjoyed the book. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So you think it's YA? We thought it was middle grade. But that's partly like we were just saying. We're not sure where the line is drawn, and I guess it's different depending on which country, part of the world you're in. But I feel like in Australia it would be considered still middle grade, because I'd be quite happy I think of it as being who's going to read the book as opposed to the age of the people in the book. So that's why I get a bit like, no, like, I don't think Sarah J. Maas should be considered YA, because
and it is advertised as a middle grade debut.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Oh, it's her debut, is it?
Well, for her doing middle grade, it's the
doing middle grade. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, they meant in terms of like it's her first middle grade.
Yeah. I thought you meant it was her first book, but yeah, no, that makes sense.
No, I'm just reading how it's advertised. It literally says middle grade debut.
Yes. But no, I think you're right. I think it's debut of, like you said, middle grade for her, as opposed to her first book.
Yeah, it's not her debut book.
Yeah.
Because it only came out last year, and she's definitely written more than that.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't think about that, but you're right. It could be either MG or YA. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, that's enough moralizing from now mum / teacher Mel about YA versus middle grade. Anyway, and yes, so then this character, after the party, the police come around to this family home, and they tell that this boy, or this teenager, died, and he died in an area where a lot of teens jump off this bridge, and it looks like
I think they pretty much said that he jumped. They were advertising him as a suicide.
Yeah, so they say it's suicide.
And he jumped off the bridge.
So it's an area that people jump for kind of kicks and, thrills and kicks, whatever the saying is, shits and giggles. But it was at night, so obviously, that's not, like, it seems like it was suicide, like I said, because even though it was at that place, it was at night, and yeah. But Kaylani and the younger brother of this character don't think that was the case. They think something else happened. And the suspicion is on the oldest girl in this family that Kalani's staying with, whose name, obviously, I don't remember names. I remember Miles. I think Miles was the younger brother.
I don't know. I don't know names either.
I don't know why. I think because Miles is in a book I'm currently reading, so I think that's why I'm remembering there was a Miles in there. But anyway, they don't think it was suicide/accident, so they decide they're going to look into what it might have been. So that's my kind of brief synopsis for you. But yeah, anyway, Shannon has said that they already yes, it was Miles. Woohoo! I remember the name. But yeah, I think, like I said, it's because I'm currently reading a book that has a character called Miles. So.
Yeah, I don't know. The last book I read was a fictionalized version of the Agatha Christie disappearance. So the name I had was Agatha Christie.
Oh.
yeah. Look, I had all the hoity-toity English names.
As opposed to Black American names.
Yeah.
Well, I'm reading
very different vibes.
Yeah, I'm reading a book that is a I'm reading The Poppy War technically, but I'm not actually reading it currently. I'm reading A Monstrous Regiment of Women, which is a book in a series that is a Sherlock Holmes retelling. And so same. There happens to be a Miles in it, but there are it's
all the hoity-toity names.
Yeah, 1920.
And the fact that Agatha Christie was technically a character in it.
Yes. But yes, anyway, that is the synopsis. So I guess now we should, I never prepare questions or anything. I always come on here and then say, I should have done that. And I literally never do. So apologies if people were expecting that I would do that. But apparently I have no brain for doing it. Oh, Peanut. There's kitty litter just down here and one of the cats has availed herself of it and I might move. Thank you, Peanut. That wasn't completely gross or anything. Bear with. Right. I'm not going to move very far, but I'll move away enough that I'm not right above it. Oh, Peanut. Thank you so much.
At least only one of your cat. At least that's only one. The other two haven't decided to make their presence known yet.
Well, true. Although I rather wish they'd decided to make their presence known by coming and standing in front of me, rather than the way that Peanut did. Anyway, what was I saying? She's back. Woohoo! Welcome back.
You were talking about not preparing questions.
Yes, I don't prepare questions. But I thought that we could all at least say, I guess, what we thought of it, whether we liked it or not, which Shannon has already said. And then what one thing was that we thought was particularly standout about it, or that we found particularly enjoyable. Obviously, if you don't wish to, feel free not to. But yes. So, Emma, what about you?
Yeah, I liked it, but I liked a couple of her other ones a bit better. I think it's because I'm aging out of middle grade, so it didn't suck me in as much as it might have a few years ago.
Yeah, fair enough.
And also, with ADHD, sometimes it's hard for me to concentrate. If they drag it out, I completely zone out of what's happening.
Yeah, that's fair enough as well. Yes. Did you physically read it or did you?
No, I did an audiobook. I found it on Everand.
Yep. Yeah, I was the same. I listened to it on audiobook. And it was really easy.
Well, to buy physical copy, it was $40 or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I only had it in hardback. So they only had it in hardback, so it was actually quite expensive. And I wasn't spending that much money before I knew if I liked it.
Fair enough. Tracy also listened to it. I liked it okay. I did predict quite a bit of it, especially the reveal about the dad. Yeah, I found it quite predictable as well. But
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I predicted the ending about halfway through.
Yeah. But I feel like we said, it was middle grade, so I think I gave it 4 stars because I thought it was really well written and I enjoyed it and I thought it was well done. But yeah, it definitely wasn't it wasn't aimed at me, you know. So like,
yeah, and I think the problem is because I was doing middle grade March, I was just doing back to back middle grades.
yeah,
Scattered in with my other ones, so
yeah. So
I
you
think
had
I just gotten overwhelmed by middle grade.
fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. So everyone liked it okay. So was there anything in particular that you thought was good?
I do like the way that Tiffany D Jackson does her reveals, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she does that quite well.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
even if you pick it, the way that she reveals it.
Yeah. So even if you knew what the eventual
Yeah.
outcome was going to be, you don't necessarily feel like you knew exactly how she was going to get there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. Physical copy. Okay. Actually predicted who the killer was or could be. Yeah, I didn't necessarily predict exactly who the killer would be, but I definitely knew kind of what was going to be involved in it. And like that it was going to have something to do with what the character first mentioned when he was doing the tour about the history of the house, and that made Kalani kind of go, "Oh, hang on, what?"
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah,
they wouldn't have gone into that much detail if that wasn't connected to something.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's what I felt like. Well, this is obviously, you know, going to be important, because why would you go into that much detail about a photograph and the house's history and stuff? I like the main character. I thought she was quite strong. Yeah, I like the main character too. I thought that was quite well done.
Yeah.
And
I will give Tiffany D Jackson this. She's good at writing. She's good at writing characters.
yeah, definitely, I agree. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. I slept reasonably well, but I just feel like I'm never not tired these days.
Oh, that's me too.
Yeah,
Because
it's crazy.
there are times when I'll be asleep by 7:30, but I'll still feel tired in the morning.
Wow. Wow,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah. It's well, it doesn't help that my cat always thinks that 5 a.m. is time to wake mommy up for breakfast. So she'll be next to my ear, like scratching at the sheets, meowing next to me until mommy gets up.
yeah. It wasn't too bad last night. I got woken up. Was it 12:30? I think it was. Mind you, they went to sleep at 7. But then Bub woke up at 12:30, and then normally they're relatively easy to get back to sleep in the middle of the night, but it was like an hour and a half, and I was just like comatose on the couch. But I went to bed. Well, I was watching TV in bed, so. But I'd say I was asleep by like 10. We got up properly at about 6:45. But still, that hour and a half in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually nap by 11:30. Yeah, they always say, you know, that whole like nap when the baby is napping, but like sleep when the baby's sleeping. I feel like that was easier when they were small and they were sleeping, you know, like they'd wake up, feed, have a little bit of a play for like 20 minutes, have a nappy change, go back to sleep. And they do that every sort of 3 or 4 hours. But now that they're having one sleep during the day, and I mean, it might be like an hour and a half, 2 hours sleep, but still, I just feel like it's too hard to nap during their nap time. But apart from anything else, that's mostly when my reading gets done. um, oh, really? Okay. Always tired in the morning. I usually nap by 11:30, but you rarely sleep before 11:30 p.m. I get what you're saying. Anyway, none of you are here to talk about any of our sleeping habits. Um, oh, Oh, your first Tiffany D Jackson. Oh, nice. Did you so you enjoyed it? Do you think you'll pick up any of her other books? I have read, what have I read of hers? I have read I think I've only read her young adult horror, which I can't for the life of me remember what it's called.
Was it White Smoke?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. The first one I read was this one. Monday's Not Coming.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so this was my first experience with it, but it was actually quite good. I ended up giving it like 4.5, 5 stars. I think it's because I listened to it. I think it's because I listened to it on audio, so it was easier to like get sucked into it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. And then there's the one where she did the Carrie retelling, The Weight of Blood.
That's what I was thinking of as well, yeah. And then she wrote Grown as well, didn't she?
Yeah.
And I think she wrote another one, which I can't think of.
Aside from the ones we've listed, the only other one I've listened to is Let Me Hear a Rhyme, I think it was called.
Okay, I've not heard of that one. I feel like she's really quite diverse in what she writes. Like this is kind of a mystery. There's then White Smoke is a horror, and then Grown is like a contemporary. From what I know, I haven't read it. And then Carrie's obviously a horror, not Carrie.
Based on Carrie.
Yeah. And the one Monday's Not Coming, is that a mystery as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a story. The tagline on it is, "This is the story of how my best friend disappeared, how nobody noticed she was gone except me, and how nobody cared until they found her 1 year later."
Oh, okay.
That's the tagline that's on the back.
Okay, it sounds good. I'm the same as Tracy. I want to read Weight of Blood. I've always thought that one sounded interesting. Although I haven't read Carrie, so maybe I should read Carrie first.
Oh, I hadn't read Carrie either, but I knew enough of the premise of that story
to
be able to understand what was going on.
I think I'll read some of her others. My sister has read her books and was telling me about them. Oh, cool. Maybe we could do The Weight of Blood as a book club book. Maybe we could do Carrie and then The Weight of Blood. Maybe that could be. We've already picked this quarter. Maybe that could be. Maybe we could do that next year. Maybe we could do like a 2-book in a quarter, and we could do like the original and then that kind of retelling. That could be a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
That could be a fun thing to do.
Yeah, because I don't think Carrie's actually very long.
No, I don't think so either. Not like The Stand or something.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because Carrie was like Stephen King's debut, so his first one.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I don't think he had quite mastered the art of waffling yet. So it's a lot shorter.
So we have 3 votes for 2 votes. I'm assuming, Emma, that you were voting yes, but then I didn't actually check that you were for my idea about reading Carrie and then reading The Weight of Blood. Now I'm like trying to think of like what's some other ones we could do. What's some other like read the original and then read the retellings we could do?
Well, I've got I have found some like people who like rewriting classics into horror movies, or into horror books.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I literally have a slasher on my to be read. This is a like slasher retelling of Little Women.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's cool.
Beth is dead. But yeah, Beth Marks has been murdered and all of her sisters are suspects. So it's like a murder mystery.
Yeah. That's
retelling
cool.
of Little Women.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. They just put out a Wizard of Oz one as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. There's also
a series. So bring out a lot of those.
Yeah, cool. There's also a series of books that are written by different. They're basically the same project, but they're different retellings of different classics, and then they're written by different people. I've only read one.
Here we go.
Here we are. Cat.
And here she is.
Hello, Kitty.
It took longer than I thought it would.
What's her name?
Birdie.
Bernie.
No, Bird.
Oh, Birdie. Hi, Birdie.
She doesn't like being picked up, so I'm just going to show you her face and then put her down.
Fair enough.
She doesn't like being held.
Fair enough.
So she'll just sit on the floor.
Huge. Yeah, Peanut, can you come and actually say hello instead of just smelling at me? No, she can't. Yeah, so there's a series of books. I read one of them. I read the Little Women retelling. It's basically classic books rewritten by BIPOC authors.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those. I think I read the Little Women one of those.
Yeah, I've read the Little Women.
I keep needing to go back and read the others for those.
Yeah, the Little one was quite good. Women one was quite good. I wouldn't say it was like I wasn't like in love with it, but I did enjoy it. But yeah, there's quite a few others. So that one was written by Bethany C. Morrow. And then I think there's a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde one. I assume there would be a Pride and Prejudice one because, like, as if you would not do that. Let me check. What was that one called? How about I don't check now because we're supposed to be discussing a book, and I check when I'm not online. But yeah, maybe some of those could be good ones.
Yeah, but also Jane Austen horror retelling, Murder at Mansfield Park.
Ooh.
I found it at a charity shop actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I found it.
There's Death Comes to Pemberley, which is like a murder mystery set a few years after Lizzie and Mr. Darcy are married. That's quite fun.
Well, I hadn't actually heard of Mansfield Park, but I saw that they did a horror one.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and it was at the charity shop, so it was only like $2.
How can you say no, really?
Yeah, it was only like $2.
Anyway, I will present that as an idea in the Discord. However, maybe that could be a separate thing to the. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop talking about that. Anyway, back to the book we're actually supposed to be talking about. Sorry, everyone, we got off the rails a little bit there. So yes, what were we talking about? What people enjoyed about the book, in particular. I think I enjoyed the main character. I thought she was well written as well. But I think I just enjoyed the way the book was written, like the writing of the book. I thought it was well written. I'm one of those people, though, unfortunately, if a book isn't super well written, then that drives me bananas. Like, that's the reason. Well, like, I know some people, can look past particular writing styles if they're enjoying the plot or the characters or what have you. But I will. Sorry,
I was going to say I will give her this. She doesn't do annoying characters. Like, I am turned off if the characters are a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I don't tend to be. I mean, I guess it depends on the character and why, but I don't tend to be annoyed by that. But yeah, if that's why I didn't like the Mortal Instruments. I
didn't like those either. I think, I was like really annoyed by Clary.
Clary just, Clary,
I was really annoyed by Clary, the first one.
But also, Cassandra Clare has never met an editor. Like, we do not need that. Anyway, yeah. But I enjoyed just Tiffany D Jackson's writing style. I think that she's a very good writer. I enjoyed the overall writing of the story and kept me fully engaged. I read the book in 2 days. Wow. That is super quick.
Well,
I read it relatively quickly as well.
But the audiobook was only about 4 hours.
Yeah, well, I don't read audio. Like, I know a lot of people read audiobooks, particularly on BookTube, at like 2 or even 3 times speed. My max is 1.8 or 1.9. Otherwise I just get lost. I just get a bit too confused about what's going on. But I enjoy. I'm actually listening to more audiobooks than I ever have. But yeah, I did enjoy listening to it. So on that note, maybe we should do a what's something that we didn't like about the book. I don't personally feel like there was anything I didn't like. Like, not that it was a perfect book, but I gave it 4 stars and it lost the star. I think it was there wasn't a lot of detail. Like, it was well written, but there wasn't a lot of detail. And so, like, that thing where we talked about at the beginning where they go a little bit into the history of the house when they're having that tour, it was kind of like it was obvious that it was necessary for the story because there wasn't a huge amount of detail otherwise, if that makes sense. It was very fast paced, a lot. It moved at quite a good pace, but it didn't really bother me that there wasn't as much detail because knowing it's a middle grade, like you need to have the fast paced action for a younger audience because otherwise they'll tune out. So it didn't bother me. It was just something that probably did mean that I didn't give it the higher star, but knowing that it was for a younger audience, it didn't make me want to give it a lower rating, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what I didn't like was that I picked what was going to happen. Because if she'd thrown in like an extra twist that I didn't see coming, that might have worked better.
Yeah. I don't really think that Tracy's the same. There was anything I didn't like other than the predictability. Yeah. I feel like similar to what I just said. Like, I found it quite predictable as well. But again, that didn't really like bother me either. And I think again, that was because it was written for a younger audience. And like, yeah, if you want, 11-year-olds to enjoy it and it's a mystery, you kind of have to make it something that they will eventually potentially get the idea of what's going on. Which of course means that adults are going to be like, oh yeah, I figured that out straight, pretty quickly. But it's like, well, yeah, but did your 10-year-old?
Yeah. So it's like I said, I didn't like that I picked the twist, but I liked how Tiffany D Jackson got us there.
Yes, definitely. I think it was well.
Yeah, so I can say that. Even if I picked the twist, I didn't pick how Tiffany D Jackson was going to get us to this reveal.
Yeah, I thought that was good. And the way that they conducted their investigation, they're teenagers, so but the way that they kind of went about trying to figure out, I thought was well done.
Yeah, definitely. I don't like how in a lot of these books the police are actually useless.
Yeah,
and it's up to kids to do it.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't feel like that was really going on in this one. I felt like the police just weren't important because it was the kids doing, like the kids were just doing their own thing. And it wasn't like the kids were like breaking in and noticing evidence the police wouldn't have noticed or anything like that. It was just more like the police just weren't important because because they were just doing their own thing. They weren't trying to do what the police weren't doing. They weren't trying to. I know that I think they did say it at one point that why didn't the police notice that or something? But like, there's no evidence that the police didn't notice it. You know what I mean? Like, the police assumedly in conducting their own investigation, or I suppose because they thought it was a suicide. Anyway, I didn't feel like it was that. Quite like that, like in how it is in other books. It can be very
but there are some that I've read where the police are actually useless.
Yeah, like to the point where you're like, no, I'm sorry, the police might be useless, but like not so useless that 12-year-olds are going to be better at the job than they are.
Yeah.
Like, maybe, a 20-year-old might figure it out if the police have decided, because obviously there are politics as well, and the police might decide that it's not worth their time or whatever. But yeah. Yeah. Is there anything anyone else would like to mention, or any questions that anyone else has, because I feel like one day I will sit down and actually put together a list of questions to discuss for a book that I set as a book club book. But today is not that day. Yeah, so anyone else have any thoughts? Tracy, Shannon, Emma?
Yeah, I will say I didn't like how the rich black woman instantly just decided it was easier to frame the poorer background person instead of, like, you know what I mean? Because it's like they framed the like easier target that people would believe did it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Although I suppose if you're going to try and frame someone, you're going to pick an easy target.
Yeah, but
for the terms of the story.
Yeah, I know that it was part of the story, but there's a part of it that's like no one's questioned why these people suddenly had all this money. Like this family who hadn't been in the house before suddenly had everything signed over to them.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm just saying. So no one. It's not a very big town, but no one questioned it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought of that. Like, why would they not be saying, well, hang on? Why would no one look into that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a bit weird.
Yeah, I meant in that regard. Like,
yeah. Maybe they knew. Maybe they were all complicit.
Yeah, but it's just one of those. You don't think it didn't raise any suspicions that these people suddenly turned up in this house that wasn't theirs like a month ago.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. They framed the most obvious person, but it was too obvious to me. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. It was very obvious. But yeah, like I said, I didn't mind because, I knew it was aimed at teenagers. So I was like, well, I mean, young kids. So.
Yeah, but but that's one thing I noticed is no one questioned why these people who didn't own this house a month ago
suddenly,
suddenly have all the money and have the house.
Yeah.
That didn't raise any concerns.
Yeah.
In this town.
That was a bit weird. Yeah. Well, I feel like we've potentially come to the end of our conversation. So yeah, if everyone's happy with that, we might go. Because apart from anything else, I'm gagging for another coffee.
I don't know. I've got a cat sitting in here, so I think I need to pay attention to her.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
I've got a cat sitting next
right
to me.
There. Yeah. Fair enough. Well, Tracy and Shannon, are you happy to end it there? I'm going to assume yes. Thanks, ML and Emma. You're welcome, Tracy. Thanks for joining. And thank you for your loyalty and your
reliability. I think
that's the word. Thank you. Reliability. We appreciate it. You're welcome. Thanks for joining us. It's been very lovely to have you. All right. Well, in that case, I will.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if Tracy and Shannon didn't show up, it would have just been us two talking to each other.
Exactly.
We would have just been talking to each other.
Which would have been fine, but kind of like not much point doing it to the internet at large.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to call us done then. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for reading the book with us. And hope everyone had a good time. And
I'm going to get a snack and pay attention to this cat.
Fair enough. Well, I'm going to make a coffee. But yeah, I will talk to you all in the Discord.
Bye.
Bye.